Meeting is called to order at 12:01 on 19th of December, 2023. Heather, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Jack Gray,
Here.
Chris Smith,
Here.
Art Pembroke,
Here.
Susan Ford,
Here.
Kathy McDonald,
Here.
Doug Olson. He's here.
He's
here.
underneath there.
Here,
We see your hat.
you want to see the hat? There you go, buddy.
Doug Smith, Todd
Okay.
Fitter,
Here.
Steve Link,
Here.
and I'm Heather Kaler. And you have a quorum. Rob is excused and Nicholas is excused, our new member.
Okay. Is there any public or any comment on today's items in the agenda? Hearing none. I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented by the summary link or any amendments or comments.
I'll make a motion that we adopt and we pass or accept the November minutes.
Second. Have a motion and second to accept the minutes. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries. Okay, well, we can't officially welcome Nicholas Blacken today, but we will go through the member info and the officer's duties, those items. If you would please make sure that your contact information on the list that Heather has provided is correct. And especially on your emails and phone numbers, if there isn't a typo or any kind of error in that. If you do note one, please let Heather know so she can get that. You also should have, board officers' duties and those three. I can't see any additions on them, but they look really very, very complete. One of the big thing is, the local government training by, MSU. And we want to make sure that everybody does that this year. According to the bylaws and what the city has and those, if you don't do that, they will replace you as a member of the board. Any comments or questions on these?
That's yours.
Any public comment? Hearing none, let's move to unfinished business. The season pass donation raffle, my understanding is that the board is going to work with the pro shop or the staff and the Men's Golf Association in compiling all the information in order to get tickets printed and sold, and so we can hopefully move forward later this summer on that. There has been no timeline that has been established in my knowledge. Do you have any ideas on that, Todd? Or?
Well, I think if we, once the beginning of the year hits, I think if we got the tickets, started promoting it, and then we promoted it all through the summer and fall, we'll probably, at that time, probably sell enough tickets to get the watering stations in 2025, spring of 2025. I don't think there's any chance that we can do it for spring of 2024. It's just, you're not gonna sell enough tickets in 3 months.
Yeah.
4 months. But if we start at the beginning of the year and start making a plan, we could start making a schedule, doing some deadlines. We want to do it by this, pre-plan. That also allows me to get some additional prizes, you know, possibly donated by some vendors and stuff like that.
Very good.
And just to jump in real quick, if you don't, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm wondering, what the cost or the estimated cost of just tapping into the, water line there at the maintenance shed will be? Whether that could be a first step?
It'll be much less,
Mhm.
Yeah,
much less.
I mean,
Yeah,
just
like a
to
fraction.
put a station on that north side.
Facing number 10 feet, is that the original thoughts if I understood, was to be attached to the outside of the building?
Yes.
Is that correct? That would be very simple logistically wise.
Right. I think there's a little bit, I mean, because coming off of that area, I think they're gonna have to, you know, test the water. I don't know what kind of water you got in the building over there.
City water.
Oh, it's city water? Oh, okay. Well, then that's fine.
Should be okay. hopefully.
Yep.
While we're on the topic, the only thing I have on my list for my report today is the commission unanimously did support the donation of the golf membership.
Good.
To the golf advisory board specifically. And thanks for showing up. Didn't take all the material like we did to art last spring.
You let him talk?
Yeah, I spoke. Okay.
So Jack, we can, we
can.
can set up a meeting and try to spearhead and get this planned out more at some
Okay.
point.
It would be good and get those
That'd be a
tickets
good
selling
idea.
as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Do you have a feel for how
That's
much they'll
correct.
be each?
We haven't even had that discussion.
Do you have the 2024 passes printed now?
Yes,
Selling those?
they arrived in the shop yesterday.
Okay. And if there was any way we could get this done soon enough, if somebody won the raffle that had already bought a season pass, could they roll that forward to 2025?
We'll,
Get a refund?
we can talk about that, yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
So the other thing that I was asked, if there was another source that was willing to throw in another season pass. Is it, because that wouldn't need commission involvement at all, okay.
No, just our season passes and stuff through, you know,
Through the city.
through the city
Right.
would need commission approval.
Okay.
But if you wanted to add like a golf membership pass to it, potentially could come out of the revenues of the raffle. If you want to add some low hanging fruit, like
Yeah.
Todd brought up the concept of getting some equipment on there.
Full set of golf
and for
clubs.
Just being reimbursed for the cost.
Yeah.
Out of the proceeds, just that was something I believe was said in the last couple of meetings
Absolutely, yeah.
to bolster. You know, the people that
Yeah.
want to participate in hindsight after the meeting, multiple people said you should have asked for the golf membership, the range pack, and a cart lease. But we missed the boat this year.
Yeah, I don't think the city commission would appreciate it if we revisited this.
No.
So, but that could be,
But once
When we
again,
are-
if there are some
when
other
we were
sources that
discussing
come
the,
forward that might want to
price.
donate a range pass or another season pass,
Correct.
they could come straight to the board and
Like a
say,
donation.
yeah, donation.
That would be just fabulous to bolster what's on that ticket that we
Yeah.
produced. as
So
well.
whatever we produce in that ticket should be flexible enough if we do add on afterwards and other prizes or something, I don't.
We need to set up a coordination meeting
Yeah.
and basically talk about, I mean, how many prizes are we gonna have on there? One? Or are we gonna want a list of 10 or 15 that you know what I mean?
Good.
I think the more winners that you can produce out of that, the more raffle tickets you're going to sell.
I agree. And if you look at like the one for the the Special Olympics, they don't have just the pickup, they have a whole series. I think there's 10 or 15 of them at least.
They're not printed on the raffle card itself. There's a
Most of
separate
them-
sheet.
No, but on the
Most of them
flyer.
are on
On the
there.
flyer,
They're
yeah,
on the
the flyer, yeah.
They have notification or places where the public can view what the prices are, especially when they're out selling them. You know, if you walk into Power Council or something, usually when they're selling, there's a town pump, will do a lot of it. They always have people there and doing things like that. Any other comments?
Well, I feel that if we do something like, if Todd were to donate a lesson, I don't think that needs to go through commission.
Yeah.
So a couple lessons, one
Because that would
from
be-
Mike, you know, just to add to that list.
Let's, after the New Year shot, should we, meet and try to get a consensus as to who would like to be on? We can't form a committee out of the golf advisory board. The bylaws do not allow us to form subcommittees. But we can do coordinations with the staff and the men's league, ladies league. We certainly want you to be part of this, Kathy.
So the men's league, who's gonna be running the financial side of it, and the ladies league, I mean, I don't wanna exclude the ladies league, they can form a subcommittee that can coordinate this group.
Yeah.
And as chair, that you could either serve, you know, on that, in that capacity, or appoint somebody or bodies from the board to work with those folks. And it's not a committee, it's just a assignment to work on.
Right. It's a work committee, basically, so. I don't think we'd have a problem. I would not have a problem in helping set up that and be part of it. I can think maybe, some of the golfing community at large might want to assist on that too. Dave Bauer was really involved. Him and Kevin Hayes were involved with the last fundraiser.
Okay.
Okay. And I can't remember if Kenny Nettleton was either.
Well, the one for the sign was Pete.
Pete Asmo, because it was
Yeah.
when the board, golf advisory board was actually in spearheading most of that through the men's league when we did the signs.
Okay.
And that was Pete, Dave, trying to think who the others were. I'm
I
not
see
sure.
Pete and Dave
Yeah.
every week.
Yeah.
So I'll try to talk to him this week. I'm gonna see him on Wednesday, Dave. For sure, and then Pete usually I see on Thursday or Friday, so I'll talk to him too.
Okay.
If they spearhead that, then I think you're right. I think if we get a couple people from the golf advisory board on there, then we just need to set up a plan. We don't have a plan, on what we're gonna do with this.
Yes,
And could we ask that meeting be scheduled ahead of our January meeting, so that the next time we're together as a board, whoever's working on it can report to us what the plan is, and we can move things forward.
yes, we can do that. Todd, if you would then please speak with Pete and Dave. Pick their brains, maybe even see if they would assist in doing this. Because I was not involved in it at that point in time. And we bought tickets. If I was not on the men's league board or on the golf advisory board. Any other comments, questions?
Rob and Nicholas have joined us via Zoom.
Let's see, yeah.
Welcome, Rob.
Thanks. Traveling through the airport, so I'll just be listening.
Friday?
Okay, moving on to reports.
I spoke to the past, which was on my list. The other thing, and Steve may be able to add on to this, is our office is getting a little bit of pushback because we put a lock on the gate at Benton and Custer. Because when the snow hit, cross-country skiers were coming through, but then it melted, and then there were golfer balls flying with skiers. And the no skiing signs in the parking lot, so we're trying to direct the public to come in that way. And some of the people that are exercising are pushing back. Even though they can walk around. But that's going through our office, and Heather's taking the brunt of it, and Steve. But it's for safety and controlling the public, and then once we get enough snow, they'll be able to.
Don't use the term controlling the public, that sets them off.
No, conditioning the public, excuse me, yeah, well said, Art, but you know,
Maintaining public safety.
well, because down the road, if we start the Nordic ski program, which they've come to the city before to talk about making snow years down the road, getting snow guns and starting a youth developmental program. You know, that will probably be locked up for the purpose of, you know, getting all the skiers to start right there and for their program too, so. That's what I mean by conditioning, but at the same time, if it, you know, once there's snow on the ground, Steve has no problem unlocking it for the winter for the people that live over there. But right now, it's just we're waiting for the snow. And that's all I can. Just like that.
Oh,
Is there also a lock on the gate that's partly down Benton?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't notice that the other day on the lot five. Okay,
that's the gate I.
Another question, that gate that's over by, there's Fort Georgians, that's off of number 11. Is that one locked also, or?
Don't believe that is,
I was gonna say is because they wanted a gate there, I recall, for safety issues for kids to, if they have to evacuate the school, it's a
Yeah.
place to go. So they can keep everybody together.
yeah, I thought that was their fence, so we didn't lock that.
There's a lot of kids that walk home through there.
Through that gate, that's,
Well, it's more towards 11 Green, kind of,
I think there's a few gates. Isn't there?
Yeah,
There's like the
or
one
access.
near the
there.
apartment complex and there's one
or the port.
in the, like, it's like kind of behind the school.
Yeah.
There's like
Yeah.
2 gates, I
right.
believe.
And I thought those were those
I
maintained or taken care of by the school?
I think there were schools, yeah.
I know that they
that,
don't like you.
We
opening that up
didn't
to
put a
go get
lock
call
on
from
there.
yeah. I was just curious if that one happened.
No.
No.
Mhm.
There's also a lot of access right at the end of Cole Avenue
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And there's no gate there, there's no
Right.
fence or anything, so.
Ideally, I mean, if we could control or, you know, have access only come through the parking lot, that would be the best situation for us, and maybe in the future, we do get fencing and gating around the entire property, but right now, we only have those ones on Custer and Benton, and there's a lot of traffic that comes through there, so we have locked those. We
They
gotta
could
get
work
our
very
cars
well.
in.
It's, I don't think you can really control those areas, you know, but to have on that street side,
Yeah.
especially from there. For us to leave at night at 8 o'clock and see, 15 cars in the parking lot, we know that, hey, might be 15 people out night skiing. Or if there's just one, just for somebody to know that, hey, there's people out on this property. It benefits our staff and I think benefits the safety of the people that are out there, just to have someone know that. So I mean, I'm a proponent for having that locked for, just those 2 access areas. Anyway,
You might wanna put a no skiing sign though at the end of Cole
Okay,
when you put one over by the parking lot. Cause I know at least 2 people who access that for skiing.
there's just certain times that we have no skiing, but then if there's snow, how do you even get over there?
There's the parking there's like a small lot, I think, for Nature Park. That's
Um,
over there. It's like a little bit farther down the road.
Okay,
Yeah,
And I think they
yeah,
just
they
probably
plow
walk.
right to the end
Yeah,
of Cole, so.
okay,
3 or 4 parking spots.
Yeah.
right there.
okay.
Do you have anything else? Any other questions or comments for Doug? Oh, Steve. What for?
yeah, well, we haven't not had much snow this winter so far, or fall and winter, we had that initial October heavy snow, and once that melted, it's been fairly dry. A lot of cold frosty mornings, but other than that, it's been dry and warmish. And so we're doing a lot of stuff in the shops, painting and sanding, like out of balance stakes and stuff like that. Mike, the mechanic, equipment manager, is grinding the reels and sharpening those up, and he'll be retiring in April 1st. So we're gonna get that job posted and try to interview and get somebody hired. But other than that, it's pretty slow around the shop, so I don't really have much to report. Any questions?
No, I just have to comment on the striking on the parking lot. Looks
Uh,
nice.
Yeah, I
You
was-
actually see where you should be parking.
Yeah, I was getting kind of dim there, and the stuff's not, the stuff we use is just a spray can that you buy from like a hardware store. So it's not the longest lasting, but, it's cheaper than going to a service, fitting it out and all that, so we just did that. Thank you.
The new cards look sharp.
Yeah, those are nice cards.
Yeah, kudos to we went back and forth with the colors of that logo, and Todd. They nailed that, it just blends right in, it matches the seat and the cart and everything.
I don't know if everyone's seen it. Has everyone seen that? That detail. It's parked in the pro shop, but, as far, it's part of our advertising campaign that we're doing, we put a skin on the front of the cart. It turned out really good. This was in my report, but I'll just touch on it now. Monday was the very first day that we had the flyer ready, we were talking about, we got the passes in, so now we can start selling these, and we just happened to have a guy walk in the door. He's buying 3 passes. He saw a rough draft of the advertising to sell on one of those cards, and he immediately bought it to put his company logo on the front of one of those cards. It's cool. He knew nothing about it, but it looks sharp, and he was an individual who plays in the DAB. That's kind of where I stole the idea, where they have those, placards temporarily on the front of the carts. And, he goes, man, I thought that looked great for the event. And, so yeah, it was an immediate sale.
What does it cost a person to sponsor a cart?
500 for the season.
There's been a business that wanted how many?
Well, it was 1 in 10 if there was a discount, but
Right,
he's also a big supporter of Bill Roberts.
so there's another revenue stream for the golf course.
Yeah.
In perpetuity.
State Golf Association, I had a meeting with, Nicholas Dietzen, and he was in there, and he goes, oh, sign me up for one of those. So we'll have an MSGA card out there. It's gonna look really cool. I'll show Art a picture here.
After the meeting, I highly encourage you to take a look at how good, because they, hot, use a heat gun to seal into the front of the cart. And it's just,
Oh, it's first class.
It's first class.
Oh, wow. And that's the draft skin right there.
Yep, that's the one that we're just using for the promo.
All right.
And on this skin, we put that barcode on there so you could scan it with your phone while you're out there playing, and it pulls up our menu at Muni's. So that you could, if you wanted to order on the turn, boom, there's the menu, you could get it ordered.
Oh, sweet.
And then on the side,
the branding.
we branded it with the city logo.
Well, that turned out nice.
With the city logo, and this is what
On
the,
both sides of the cart.
yeah. And then the front skin on,
the cards?
yep, and then the advertising piece that we're selling on the cart goes just like that. And Auto Trim, they just sent me the bill for this, but it also included the stickers on the side. In the initial one, it was $95, so it was $25 more than I had anticipated, but I think it was just because it was the first one. Because he had quoted me between, right around 70 was his rough estimate. So I'm anticipating it's probably around $75.
Now, are you gonna charge a premium for the ones that are on the front of the roll?
See, that's also another question that we thought about, but not this year. But these skins will last up to 6 years, he said. If someone wants to keep renewing.
Do they come off easily if you have to swap?
Very
Year
easy.
to year? Okay.
All they do is just heat it up a little bit and it just peels right off. Then I also talked to him about washing the golf carts, because we're making a maintenance plan for the fleet to try to keep them cleaner, at least get them cleaned once a week. And, he said they won't wash off, so. No, it looks good.
One of the most
Basically,
interesting questions was, in one of the, business owners who purchased one asked if he could, when he played, use his own.
Yes,
set every time.
yeah, that was another, we're like, no, they're in rotation.
Sorry to interrupt there, Steve.
Oh, that's all right. I was down, so, yeah.
Okay, any other questions or comment for Steve? All right, Todd, let's.
So we got our.
Finish your report.
I didn't bring the financials because I just finished them today. But I know at our last meeting, I had estimated that we would be up roughly around 250,000 compared to we were through the end of October from the previous year, and revenue wise, we're up 235. And then in November, our trend is we're quite a bit up from where we were last year, and we're trending in December the same way. So we're on the right trend. And then I looked at what we budgeted financially, we need to make roughly 1.7 million more. In order to meet the budget revenue numbers that I had projected. And then I looked from what we made last year during that course, and it was 1.4 million. So if everything stays the same as last year, we brought in about 1.4 million through the end of January. So we're gonna be shy about $300,000, which almost what I estimated months ago that we'd be shy revenue wise. When I spoke with you, Doug, and I said, hey, I gotta make $301,000. But like this advertising thing, that's gonna make another 25,000. The fact that our pass holders are paying the actual rate, not a discounted rate, that's gonna make another 40,000. So there's 70,000. If we open earlier this spring, that's gonna bring in 100,000.
That's a good point. We didn't have a March this year.
No, we didn't.
Good point.
And that was $100,000. That was a lost unrecoverable revenue. Online T system, I'm getting way closer. Finally got back-end access so that we can manipulate that, change that, and actually make that work a little bit better. And so we're exploring that, which we'll be utilizing, and then trying to better utilize our T sheet. If someone makes 2 tee times and they don't show up, I mean, that's lost revenue. Somehow we've got to stop that. Or if you make multiple times and don't cancel one, we've got to do something with that, because if you think about it, I mean, that's a minimum of $45 a person. That's $180, for that 9-minute slot of lost revenue. So if we can better utilize our T sheet, we're gonna make more money without charging more. I mean, all these ideas, we're not charging more, we're not trying to do anything different. We're just trying to get better on our end and have our customers get a little more responsible for what they're doing. And I think we got a good shot at doing it, especially if we keep trending the way we're trending. So then we've got that card advertising thing that we're really gonna market, come after the first of the year, which will be good. I think that's gonna sell out really pretty quick, with these businesses. And, credit expired. Pretty much everyone, Mike and staff have done a pretty good job, actually a really good job of contacting everyone that we had on our list of people that had credit. So we'll be expiring that credit and then moving forward the first of the year. Christmas sales have been pretty good. On our financials, our club sales this year were higher than they've been for a long time at Bill Roberts, a long time. So that was really good. We're gaining the loyalty back of our customers. And they appreciate that, and I appreciate the business that everybody's given us. Yeah, so all that kind of stuff's doing really good. Our private sim has been down all year. Been not fighting, but on the phone with Full Swing 2-3 times a week, every week. Finally came to the conclusion that the computer's bad. Somehow the computer won't talk correctly to the video card and to the hard drive. So now it's a computer that we can't even turn on. And that's the computer we purchased last year. So, it is under warranty. I've had Dell come in, log in. Dell did their, logistic analysis of that and just gonna have to replace the computer. So how long does that take? That's probably gonna take a month. So that private sim probably won't even open till February. Unfortunately, that's lost revenue, but I started this process in September. And we finally come to the conclusion in December that it's a bad computer. It's not like I waited till the last minute. I mean, I had them go through it, did a wellness check, all that kind of stuff. And anyway, I feel bad about that, but there's nothing I could have done any different with that. We needed use on it. And during the summer months, you don't get enough use to work out the kinks. So that's unfortunate. Munis has had quite a few scheduled events for this month, which is really good. The music bingo that we hosted there on the 11th was a big hit. We're doing another one January 8th. That's sold out. We allowed 50 people in there. This time we're gonna allow 70 people in there. Yeah, it was a really, really fun, tame party is what it was.
Well said.
Everybody had a good time. So we're gonna do that again, and we're gonna try to see if we can't come up with some other little events to do in munis to spark some interest.
Accolades to the sign on the corner of Benton and Custer.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, very nice. You almost need to put another one on the other corner.
Well, we can only have it up for a few days and then we have to move it.
Oh.
Just the way
Made a
things are set.
difference in sales?
Yes, it made a difference, I've
Day
told
one.
Doug, the day one, we're putting it up there. We had people walking by going, oh, I didn't even know there was a restaurant here. I live over here in Sun Haven. And so then they started coming to eat lunch there. Now they eat lunch there at least once a month.
Wow.
It just creates repeat business.
So that one person walking by that one day as he's putting it up, paid for the sign.
Yeah, it was cost me $250 and it was the best $250 I've ever spent.
Very nice.
The one thing I wanted to bring up at the golf advisory board, whether it's something that we can pursue or something that we can't pursue, with the short days, issues that I have with a lot of people coming or not coming to munis is the fact that they really can't see the entrance. And my question was whether, when talking to city, what would it take to get a street light there? I don't know that answer, but people drive by that all the time. I do it.
And
Just all of a sudden driving by and I'm daydreaming of, oh, there.
I think it would be useful
turn
for
around.
safety too, because like we get there early in the morning, it's dark, and sometimes there'll be people walking across there in that intersection, and it's very hard to see them at the last second when you're turning.
Particularly
Just a
if
lot
there's
of people
Heavily
are
walked trail
required-
there.
Why don't you have a street light at that entrance? I don't know, it's just a question I wanted to bring
We
up.
go from Custer Avenue to. Well, there's no stop signs along there for sure.
No.
There's nothing to regulate traffic flow for sure. But a street light. There's only two of them until you get to the north side or south side of the railroad tracks.
Correct.
On there, just on. Those two entrances into Sun Haven, so. They're definitely, it's dark. I was thinking about that when I was coming home the other night. About how dark it was on.
It's extremely dark, especially right at the entrance.
Well, it's interesting that you say this because we're working on some sustainability grant funding. That if there's existing structures like Batchfield lights and you turn them into LEDs. And then there's other grants that if you can demonstrate that it's a safety benefit.
Well, this one,
Oh,
for sure.
No, I'm meeting with Public Works and Leah this week.
There's two crosswalks there that are so dark. And people right there, it's 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And then it turns into 25, but coming from Custer up that way, they're doing 35 and there's nothing lit. It's dark.
Do they have
Uh,
Christmas lights on the sign this year? I didn't notice. Cause that always kind of caught my attention if you could, didn't have to be Christmas lights, but lights on the trees on this, or on the sign. that-
Well, the sign is lit with a light, an LED light.
I have had a couple calls regarding the Christmas lights have not been, I didn't know they used to be,
I didn't either.
I mean,
but if we can get, I think it just makes sense, like you
Yeah,
said,
they
to.
used to have the trees and the
Yeah.
sign and,
It wouldn't have to be Christmas colors, just make it white or something, so it's there all the time.
well, 'tis the season, get some color there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't know. The one thing I've noticed several times when we've been going back and forth, because we eat at communities now and then. There'll be times, particularly if it's a little later, 8:30, 9-ish, it's when you're coming over the railroad tracks, we always sort of spy over there, see if there's cars, if it lights, is it open? I don't know how much trouble at some point it would ever be to put a little sign on top of the, or by on top of the Bill Roberts sign or something, a little LED thing that you could turn on and off, say, munis open, closed, something to where you're on that street there. You could see that it's open. Oh, yeah, we'll go in. Cause there've been a couple times we pulled in and saw it had closed up. And I mean, it's a little later at
Well,
night, but
Yeah. The entryway into the building sometimes is very dark.
Yeah.
So it's hard to.
it's tough to see whether they're
it's hard to
open or
see
not.
Whether anything's open.
Right.
So,
I don't know,
Anyway, it was
just an
just,
idea.
just food for thought with that, as with Art's idea, we just. And I'm glad you brought that up, Doug, and that's why I brought it up in this meeting, to see if, I mean, if it's even possible. For
I
that
can look
street
into the
light,
grants, but I do know we met with St. Paul's Church up there, they put in 2 lights. Because they had to go under the road, it was $27,000 to get 2 lights. But they had to bore under the road, so I'm assuming that was, I think, an initial 10 to 15.
Well, I'm wondering with
Well, there's.
the batch lights being there already on.
Right, they probably, yeah, exactly, we don't know what, that's out of my.
Yeah.
But it's something we can look into, and we need to look for grant funding opportunities too, as we're going through this process, let's great to add to the list. And I did neglect to put this on my list. Steve has put together, and Bryce put a great PDF, was that publisher where you did the thing for the electric? Because there's some sustainability grants out there that if we go electric with our equipment, they'll pay for it. There's electric mowers, electric weed whackers, or weed whip, whatever people call it here in Montana. I've heard it differently. There's some robot. Like the thing that you have in your house that do grass, that Steve saw at the show in Orlando last week. And it just came, and he was there that these sustainability dollars came available through the DEQ. We're doing the parks maintenance, the civic center, anything, the pool boiler, anything that'll have operational efficiencies to lower greenhouse emissions. Can qualify. So Steve put together a pretty comprehensive list. Bryce put together a great it wasn't even a PowerPoint, Bryce, what was that?
It's like a poster almost.
Yeah, it was really neat the way he had it all spelled out, and it just talked about it, and so there's some. There's some things rolling with some grant funding to, reduce the use of fuel in our equipment.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, Tom.
no, that's, anyway, so we've just got, staff is just, preparing for next season, it's gonna be upon us before we know it, and, management staff, we have a lot to do, a lot to accomplish, before spring hits, so. We're just plowing away,
Well, kudos to everyone.
well, thank you.
Everything's looking really promising, right? I'm excited for this upcoming season, again, with the new carts and what you guys have got planned, and let me know if there's anything that we as a board can do to assist. And I'll meet with you right after the first, get a hold of you, and Doug, if you are listening, would you let Steve Bingham know that we'd like to try to meet, so we can coordinate with him too?
Yeah, great, Jack. We're having a men's league meeting the 3rd week in January, so I don't know if we want to just incorporate that with that at that time, because then we could also get all the rest of our board members online with that thing. So Todd knows when the meeting is.
I'll look it up. I don't think that meeting's before our next advisory.
No,
board.
it's not. I think it's on the 18th of January.
But if you had a smaller group, kind of get together and develop a plan before that. They could report to this board on the 16th and to the men's league board on the 18th or whatever date it is.
Our next monthly report will be January 16th.
That's the same day.
Yes. That's the same day as the golf advisory board. Yeah. Meeting.
Okay. And they're probably in the evening, I would assume.
Yes.
Okay.
But we can, I think, Jack, you and I should meet after the first of the year and at least start setting up a call list or a plan or who we want on this. In the meantime, I'll talk to Bauer and Aspinwall and
Okay.
see that before then and just formulate a plan on how we're gonna attack this.
Like that. I like the idea, especially you and I, and if we can get Steve and Dave and
Yeah,
maybe Steve Bingham in there and Kathy and just so that we can get some direction. with where
Yep.
we need to go.
sounds good.
Okay.
I don't have any further news.
Anything from the leagues, Kathy, sure,
No, just, I was gonna say, put my name on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
and Doug, is there, other than your meeting, is there anything else that's going on?
No, not right at this time.
Are you guys going to have a meeting soon for the year?
I can call it whenever. I have the power.
Well, she has. She has the gavel in both hands.
We're not as formal as they are, so. We're all like volunteer. Yeah, I'm thinking, I need to look at the budget. I think maybe we could even come up with enough money to do like a cart pass or something as a donation.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Okay, any other comment on what we've discussed today? Public comment, and any public comment on items not on this agenda? Hearing none? Oh, yes.
I have one thing I just wanted to let Heather, you know, I'm effectively out January, February, March, and probably April. We'll be down south. I will try and come in when we can, but it depends on
Okay.
schedules.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Motion for adjournment, please.
Yeah, I'll mess with my golf
I'll
scrum.
make a motion
I'll bring
that
it down
the
south.
meeting is adjourned.
You're on vacay. Enjoy it.
Second, second. Okay. Steve, or Chris, all those in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned at
We'll have fun down south. While we were sitting there, I said.
Well,
Merry
Here.
Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
About